I'm going to do the live practice for PT speaking test. You can see how to attempt it in a real exam. Hi, my name is Rubbal and this is ptmockTest.com. I'm going to start with my microphone and head check testing. I'm going to start the test now. This is my microphone testing. Hi, my name is Rubbal. Hi, my name is Rubbal. Now, my first task is read aloud. I have to read the instructions first. Look at the text below. In 40 seconds, you must read the text aloud as naturally and clearly as possible. You have 40 seconds to read aloud. Now, I'm going to utilize my preparation time. With savings down, pensions becoming a relic of the past, and 401k plans failing millions of Americans, many new retirees are dependent on Social Security as their retirement plan. But here's the problem. Social Security was never supposed to be the retirement plan. It's not nearly enough. At best, it replaces something like 40% of your pre retirement income. With savings down, pensions becoming a relic of the past, and 401k plans failing millions of Americans, many new retirees are dependent on Social Security as their retirement plan. But here's the problem. Social Security was never supposed to be the retirement plan. It's not nearly enough. At best, it replaces something like 40% of your pre retirement income. I've finished it before 9, so I'm going to press the next button. Next one, there are some remarkable trees of knowledge or trees of science by a Spanish scholar Ramon Lil, and Lil was actually the precursor, the very first one who created the metaphor of science as a tree metaphor we use every single day when we say biology is a branch of science, when we say genetics is a branch of science. Okay, I have still left time. I'm again going to read it. So make sure you utilize your preparation time really well. Okay, genetics is a branch of science. Just be relaxed, calm down. You will pick it up eventually. Okay. There are some remarkable trees of knowledge or trees of science by Spanish scholar Ramon Lull. And Lull was actually the precursor, the very first one who created the metaphor of science as a tree, a metaphor we use every single day when we say biology is a branch of science, when we say genetics is a branch of science. Okay, next button. Okay, another question. A genome is a complete set of DNA within an organism following the Human Genome Project in 2003 and 2003, which was an international effort to identify the complete genetic blueprint of a human being. A genomics revolution happened. Scientists started mastering the techniques for reading DNA. So she started plurals, your ed forms, ing, everything is together. Make sure you focus on each of it. A genome is a complete set of DNA within an organism. Okay, let's begin. A genome is a complete set of DNA within an organism. Following the Human Genome Project in 2003, which was an international effort to identify the complete genetic blueprint of a human being, a genomics revolution happened. Scientists started mastering the techniques for reading DNA. Next one. The Atlantic rowing race runs from the Canaries to Antigua. It's about 3,000 miles, and it's turned out to be the hardest thing I had ever done. Sure, I had wanted to get outside of my comfort zone, but what I had sort of failed to notice was that getting out of your comfort zone is, by definition, extremely uncomfortable. Okay, even something is wrong, don't worry. Just speak exactly what is being displayed on the screen. Okay, sometimes they do it deliberately. Okay, I'm waiting for my answer recorder. Let's begin. The Atlantic rowing race runs from the Canaries to Antigua. It's about 3,000 miles, and it turned out to be the hardest thing I had ever done. Sure, I had wanted to get outside of my comfort zone, but what I had sort of failed to notice was that getting out of your comfort zone is, by definition, extremely uncomfortable. Okay, next one. The virus would need to be isolated from infected patients, packaged up, and then sent to a facility where scientists would inject the virus into chicken eggs and incubate those chicken eggs for several weeks in order to prepare the virus for the startup of a multi-step, multi-month flu vaccine manufacturing process. Multi-month flu vaccine manufacturing process. If you are doubt that you are going to fumble up any word, just practice on the spot few times. Multi-month flu vaccine. So something is, fishy. Okay, let's begin. The virus would need to be isolated from infected patients, packaged up, and then sent to a facility where scientists would inject the virus into chicken eggs and incubate those chicken eggs for several weeks in order to prepare the virus for the start of a multi step, multi month flu vaccine manufacturing process. However, nowadays we are really facing new complex, intricate challenges that cannot be understood by simply employing a simple Tree diagram. And a new metaphor is currently emerging and it's currently replacing the tree in visualizing various systems of knowledge. It's really providing us with a new lens to understand the world around us. It's really providing us with a new lens to understand the world around us. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, one, and let's begin. However, nowadays we are really facing new complex, intricate challenges that cannot be understood by simply employing a simple tree diagram. And a new metaphor is currently emerging, and it's currently replacing the tree in visualizing various systems of knowledge. It's really providing us with a new lens to understand the world around us. All right.
That idea of connecting sources captured people's imaginations.
That idea connecting sources connect people's imaginations.
When they first came around, they were pretty simple and not particularly glamorous.
When they first came around, they were not pretty glamorous and they were pretty simple.
Sleep is when the brain transfers short-term memories experienced throughout the day into long-term memories.
Dream is when the short-term memories goes into the long-term memories for the memories.
Our taste buds are made up of specialized neurons called taste receptors.
Our taste buds are made up of specialized neurons called taste receptors.
There will be opportunities for learners to interact with other learners in the course forum.
There will be opportunities for the learners to interact with the another learners in the course form.
Now, this allows our brain to know what's sweet and what's bitter.
Now this allows our brain to tell what's sweet and what's bitter. Okay, that's okay.
There may be an interesting way that we can hack our memory while we sleep.
Well, there may be an interesting way we can hack our memory while we sleep.
This course is structured in terms of 12 topics.
This course is structuring between 12 topics.
I really struggled psychologically, totally overwhelmed by the scale of the challenge.
are really struggling psychologically. It's very difficult to overcome this.
This course takes an outcomes based approach to learning.
This course takes hours to based on these outcomes. Okay, now the describe images. The image depicts the information about the windmill. On the screen, I can see the sky is clear and there are plenty of windmills, which is usually shown in the white color. And we can see the grass is also greener, and there is a very beautiful day. On the screen, I can also see colors like white, blue, green, and there is also a house nearby, and they all is connected with the wires. Overall, this image is very informative and organized. The image depicts the information about the photosynthesis process. On the screen, I can see from the sun, the energy goes to the food in which they are utilizing the carbon dioxide. They're also getting water from the soil, and then it releases the oxygen in the air. This will having this image is showing different colors of yellow, green, blue, and marks were given in the black color. Overall, this image is very informative and organized. This image depicts the information about what if lamp doesn't work. If lamp doesn't work, check if whether it is plugged in. If not, then plug the lamp. Then check if it's plugged in, then check whether the bulb burned out, yes or no. If yes, then you can replace the bulb. If not, then repair the lamp. Overall, this image is very informative and organized and showing beautiful colors of pink, red, yellow, green. Okay. The map depicts the information about the rubber duck exports from 2013 to 2007, and the units were given in units per thousand. Green color was represented in Europe, and blue was shown for USA and yellow for UK. It is crystal clear from the image that in 2013, lowest 10 units per thousand were ducks were exported from the USA, and then followed by 20 ducks were imported from the UK. Overall, this image is very informative and organized. Traveling abroad, 2002, 15%, 2004. The image depicts the information about the changes in the way people spend their holidays. It is categorized into 2 years. Black color shown in 2002 and 2006 was shown in gray color. It is crystal clear from the image that people who were traveling abroad, 15% go in 2002, whereas 2006 only 25% people visited for their holidays. Further, maximum 40% people prefer to go to the seaside, and only 5% goes to the camping. Overall, this image is very informative and organized. Which annual percentage should 2.8 annual change in from 1947 to the vertical bar graph depicts the information about productivity change in the non-farm business sector from 1947 to 2017. It is crystal clear that in In the year 1947 to 73, 2.8 annual percentage change in this non-business sector, followed by 1.2%, which was marked as very less in year 1973 to 1979 and 2007 to 2017. Overall, this image is very informative and organized. Okay, detailed lecture.
Solar storms are giant clouds of particles escaping from the sun from time to time, and a constant reminder that we live in the neighborhood of an active star. And I, as a solar physicist, I have a tremendous chance to study these solar storms. But you see, Solar Storm Chaser is not just a cool title. My research helps to understand where they come from, how they behave, and in the long run, aims to mitigate their effects on human societies, which I'll get to in a second. At the beginning of the space exploration age, 50 years ago only, the probes we sent in space revealed that the planets in our solar system constantly bathe in a stream of particles that are coming from the sun and that we call the solar wind. And in the same way that global wind patterns here on Earth can be affected by hurricanes, the solar wind is sometimes affected by solar storms that I like to call space hurricanes. When they arrive at planets, they can perturb their space environment, which in turn create northern or southern lights, for example, here on Earth, but also Saturn, and also Jupiter.
Okay. This lecture was about the solar system. In this one, the speaker was talking about that there is a reminder for the neighborhood that these solar system planets are affecting the changes on the Earth. According to her research, where did she find how they are going to affect the environment on the Earth? As in the beginning, according to her research, approximately 15 years ago, planets on the solar system they are affecting the solar winds, which is followed by hurricanes, which is affecting the global winds, and then they turn the space and noise 1,000 years ago. Overall, this lecture is informative.
Who here is fascinated by life under the sea? Fantastic. Now, what did we just do? Let's dissect this for a second. The simple action of an individual raising a hand led many others to do the same. Now, it's true that when individuals in a social network have common priorities, it's often beneficial to copy one another. Think back to grade school and dressing like the cool kids made you cool. But copying behavior is also common in wild animals. For example, some birds copy the alarm calls of other birds to spread information about approaching predators. But could copying behavior in wild animals affect entire ecosystems that we humans depend on? I was led to this question while studying coral reefs, which support millions of people through fisheries and tourism here in Africa and around the world. But coral reefs depend on fish that perform a critical job by eating algae. Because if left unchecked, these algae can kill coral and take over entire coral reefs, a costly change that is difficult or impossible to reverse. So, to understand how fish may prevent this, I spy on them while they're eating algae, which can be difficult for them to do in open parts of the reef exposed to predators, some of which, on rare occasion, appear to realize I'm watching them.
Okay, the notes making is definitely helping you out. The lecture was about the fascination regarding the life under the sea. So here, the individuals who are getting this one having the common priority, which is going to be beneficial for the whole other animals. So copying behavior is very common in wild animals as well. So the speaker have checked spy on the fishes while they are eating the algae. They appears to realize that he is watching them. Overall, this lecture is very informative and organized.
Back home, my friends call me nicknames such as the giant clam girl, clam queen, or the mother of clams. This is because every time I see them, I talk non-stop about giant clams all day, every day. Giant clams are these massive and colorful shelled marine animals, the largest of its kind. Just look at this shell. The biggest recorded individual was 4.5 feet long and weighed about 550 pounds. That is almost as heavy as 3 baby elephants. South Pacific legends once described giant clams as man-eaters that would lie in wait on the seabed to trap unsuspecting divers. A story goes that a diver had lost his legs while trying to retrieve a pearl from a giant clam. I thought, really? So out of curiosity, I did an experiment using myself as bait. I carefully placed my hand into the clam's mouth and waited. I still have my hand. It seems that these gentle giants would rather retreat and protect their fleshy bodies than feed on me. So much for these killer clam myths. Unfortunately, the reality is we are the giant clam's biggest threat. Considered a delicacy throughout the Western Pacific and Indian Oceans, giant clams have been traditionally fished as seafood. Fishermen are particularly interested in their adductor muscles, which are organs that hold the two shells together like a hinge. Just for their muscles, giant clams were almost hunted to extinction between the 1960s and 1980s.
The lecture is about the giant clams, in which the speaker was given the nicknames Clam Queen, Mother of Queen, because she is really fall for the massive, colorful animals, which usually weighs around 550 pounds, which is again similarly heavy as of 3 baby elephants. And when she come to know about the diver lost his legs with the giant's climb, so she did an experiment. She put her hand in that one, but in the reality, she's mentioned they humans are the bigger threat. Overall, this lecture is very informative about these ones, and they are going to extinct.
What is the natural coloring or form of an animal which enables it to blend in with its surroundings?
Camouflage.
In which direction does the sun come up?
East.
To improve their health and fitness, most people either try to improve their diet or
Exercise.
Which is usually considered against the law. Use of illicit drugs or use of prescribed medication.
Use of illicit drugs.
which of the 5 senses are you using if you detect the odor of gas in a laboratory or in your kitchen?
Smell.
When a company's position improves, revenue decrease or increase.
Increase.
What do you need if you want to see things far away?
Binoculars.
Why people wear gloves when they do experiment?
For protection.
Computer, telephone and typewriter. Which one is first invention?
Typewriter.
Where would you expect to find equipment like microscopes, bounds, and burner, beaker and petri dish?
Laboratory. Okay, so the test is complete. See how you feel. You might feel sweaty, you might feel a bit anxious, still it's okay. It doesn't necessary to give the answer correctly, but make sure you speak it. You have to attempt every question because there isn't any negative marking. So this will definitely fetch you full 90 out of 90 score. Make sure you practice enough and keep on speaking throughout the day. Well, that's wrap for today. If you found our video informative, don't forget to subscribe us and hit the bell icon for more latest videos. This will really help us to produce more content. My name is Rubbal and this is ptmocktest.com.